Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of June, 2020. And let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. Now, the first thing I wanted to show you is a drawing I made right here of what the highways I think are going to look like in the future. Now, we got generally on a highway, we got two lanes on one side and two lanes on the other side. One side is going one way and one side's going the other way, so both lanes are moving in the same direction. That's what we have now. And one lane's a trucking lane where the trucks all go, and the other lane is a car lane where the cars all go, more or less. And the trucks can go in both lanes, but one lane is a little bit faster than the other, for people that are passing. In the future, maybe 20 years away, the way I see it is, they're just going to change the highway by how they paint the highway. And what they'll do is they'll take the slow lane, the lane on the right, and they'll divide it in half and put markers on it. And that'll be, the far right lane will probably be for bicycles. I'm talking about on the freeways even. And the next lane to it will be for little tiny cars. These cars will be like able to go 20, 30 miles an hour is all they'll be able to do. But they'll run off of batteries, and they'll be lightweight. You'll be able to pick up the whole car. You want to change a tire in your car in the future? You get everybody out of the car, maybe 2 or 3 people. And the man, he grabs the rear end of the car and he picks it up, and the wife takes off the bicycle tire that's got a flat and puts another one on, a spare. They don't even use a jack. That's what our cars, because our batteries are getting smaller, more capable of putting out energy for a longer period of time. The more deep cycle is what they are. Motors are getting stronger. Motors are getting better. Hub motors and stuff. And I can see the cars being downsized to lightweight cars that have a tubular steel frame and more or less run off of either a chain drive or a belt drive. And very simplistic. And all electric, and probably have a range of maybe 100, 150 mile range, 20, 30 mile an hour top speed, And so that's what that lane will be for the slower moving vehicles. And the trucks will still be there, the big trucks. They'll be in the left-hand lane, and that'll be the high-speed lane. If you still got one of these old clunking Flintstone cars that weighs 3,000, 4,000 pounds, that'll be the lane for you, and it'll be 80 mile an hour, and the trucks will be in that lane too, and they'll be sharing that lane with you. And what it'll be is the trucks will all be robotic. There won't be any driver on board, just a bunch of sensors. And so if somebody were to stray out of their slow lane into the fast lane, and they're only going 30 miles an hour and the fast lane's going 80 miles an hour, these robotic trucks would slam on the brakes to avoid a collision, if that happened. But people don't tend to do things like that, just like when you walk up to the edge of a cliff. You don't tend to jump off, so people will stay in their lane. And it'll probably be a much more eco-friendly environment that consumes much less of the Earth's resources, you see. But the new technologies that they're going to be moving into, you want to make yourself rich? Open up a car company. But don't build these Flintstone cars that weigh 4, 5, 6,000 pounds and have a big V8 engine or anything. These are going the way of the Goody Bird. If you want to get rich, open up a car company and start building cars that only weigh 300, 400 pounds and are all electric. And have working off of a different principle. Instead of using those great big heavy rims and great big heavy rubber tires, what they'd use is something that would be more akin to a bicycle tire or bicycle wheel. This is the way of the future, and robotics. Robotic corporations are going to do really good in coming into this next generation in the future. Everywhere you go, you're going to see them. The biggest drawback for robots at this point in time is synthetic muscle tissue. They need to develop synthetic muscle tissue. Let's move on to other stuff here, and let's take a look here at I saw an article on George Gorman's show right here. It was Hyperinflation Endgame, but what nobody's talking about revealed. And he has a new twist on FedCoin. Now, we all know they're going to go into a FedCoin. Look, right here. The Federal Reserve is looking into developing a digital currency in the United States. Powell confirms. The chairman of the Fed has confirmed it, that they're developing a digital currency in the United States. Okay? Now, we all know, we've known this for quite some time, that they're working on this, and the fact that they're being very quiet about it right now, and there's not much coming on about it, means that they're working feverishly on it. Now, what is their motives and stuff? Well, George Gammon come up with a new little bit of a twist here that I find extremely interesting. He is saying that they want hyperinflation. The reason why is because they've taken this debt to an astronomical position, and there's only two ways out to default on it. You have to default on it first. It's growing exponentially, the debt. You have to default on it. And if you default on it by saying, okay, we're not going to pay on the treasury bonds and everything else, that's it. The whole system would basically collapse in on itself, and it would be a catastrophe beyond words. But if you default on it by using inflation, in other words, making the treasury bonds worthless by inflating the dollar away, then hey, it would be a slow kind of a collapse where everything just the dollar slowly disintegrates. And it's kind of like something that they want to kick the can down the road sort of thing. It would take a longer time period for it to happen. And they're thinking to themselves, hey, if we do it this way, if we do it the inflationary route, we might have a chance to get out of office before everything collapses in an inflationary hyperinflation. We might have a chance to escape, before it all collapses and collect our pension for life and everything else and get out of Dodge, And so that's the route they're going to take. And George Gammon, he's showing how on his show he was talking about this FedCoin. They want inflation. They want inflation. So he was talking about how when they put this FedCoin out there, that they can really bring on the inflation, because what they can do is they can get it. They can get the FedCoin right where they want to get it. They can have it come right in on your cell phone. So, and there's the coin, but they can put a timestamp on the thing. They can make it so that you have to spend it. You can't save it. They can make it that way so that you cannot save the thing. And by doing that, then they can get the inflation that they're looking for in the general economy. They can speed up inflation tremendously. And also, they can make they can force this transference over from regular dollars into these new Fed dollars. They can tell you, hey, you got to transfer your old dollars, your cash, bring your cash in, or in a certain period of time, maybe 6 months or 3 months from now, your cash won't be worth anything. So you got to trade it in for these Fed coins. And once you're into the Fed coin, then they can say, hey, you got to spend them within the next 6 months, or they disappear off your wallet. And you imagine people going down the street and the guy's looking at his wallet and he can see the timer and he says, gee, I better spend these last 1,000 Fed coins I got in here in the next 3 days, or they expire. Or they disappear. Poof, out of my wallet. Let's go buy something. Quick. Hurry. That's what they want. They want you to hurry and buy stuff and not to save. They don't want anybody saving anymore. They want to be able to pump out these digital dollars in any amount they want, and they want you to spend them as fast as you get them. What does that sound like? Sounds like hyperinflation to me. But it's a get-out-of-jail-free card for them, because as the hyperinflation starts to eat away the value of the dollar, it gets easier and easier to pay all of these government expenses and stuff. They're just going to keep paying. It gets easier and easier to send out Social Security, to pay for government-funded everything. It gets easier and easier as the money gets worth less and less. And how long can that process take? Well, they're going to drag it out as long as they can drag it out. Anyway, let's get on and take a look at the silver market. Now, you know, during that period in time, it's unlimited how high gold and silver can go. It's unlimited, in fact, how high the stock market can go. And all these investments, things are going to become worth more and more. Just simple things, things you have around your home, will become worth more and more money. Because as the dollar hyperinflates. Anyway, looking at silver today, $17.96 for silver. It's up 28 cents on the day so far. So it's just hanging out just below the $18 mark. Let's take a look at gold. Gold has broken through the $1,750 mark, and it's soaring up higher. $13.40 today at $17.67. 1,800, here we come. For gold. So gold is looking really good. Let's take a look now at cryptocurrencies. 275 billion. So remember yesterday I was saying like 262 billion. That's a pretty good little jump. It's like $12 billion in one day or whatever, 64.7% Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin price is starting to heat up. It's starting to head toward 10,000 again. 96.70. And it's going up today. Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's 26,257. It's up 232 points on the day so far. Now, we are still under this watch of a crash for the Dow right now. I put us under this watch a month or two ago. And the reason why I got us under this watch is because out in the general economy, everything is right now is terrible. 40 million jobs lost, closing businesses left and right, bankruptcies being filed everywhere. And this is what's really going on in the world, but the stock market continues to float. Well, that's why we're under a stock market watch, that the stock market could roll over and fall, And that's the reason why. Let's take a look now at crude oil. $40.92. It's up 19 cents on the day so far. Now that's sweet light crude. It's possibly one of your cheaper crudes. So $40.92 for crude. Now we're going to take a look at the U.S. Treasuries today. The bonds. 30 years at 1.49, and it's up 3 basis points. And the U.S. 10-year is up too. It's up 1.6 basis points at 0.72. Now the short end of the yield curve is falling today. So we got a long end rising and a short end falling. Take a look at the dollar today. It's 96.53 on the dollar index, and we got a falling dollar today. So listen, thank you guys for listening to my show. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.